Hello, welcome to the channel. I'm Tiffany, retired librarian turned homeschool mom. And in this video, we're going to talk about some of the things we learned with traveling with a preschooler. Now, this is covering both our flight as well as a 2-hour drive up a mountain, and then back. So, I film at 9. I have a small child. I'm tired. And it's like 8 o'clock. So, let's move on. So, what did we learn? One, we did pack very light. We only took carry-on, so that worked. My daughter had a carry-on. We had a specific bag for all our electronics, which is my husband's briefcase that I got him for his birthday, and that worked really well. And that's because we could get all that in. My daughter had a wheeling carry-on as well as a backpack. I had a backpack as well. And this worked really well. One of the things that helped, and again, we take our car seat on the plane. So that's one of the things we did last year. We did it again. I highly recommend it, mainly because my daughter was more comfortable in the car seat. She's 3. She was able to fall asleep, which she did, and did quietly. I'll talk about that in a minute. I have a cat trying to get in my lap. She fell asleep rather quickly on both the return and the after flight. This is Kendra. She's annoying and 13. Will probably bite me. I'm going to get over the mic here. Cat disruptions. So she was just more comfortable in the car seat. Now, with the car seat, last year we messed around with a bag. Don't do that. Don't get the pre-checked bags if you're not, or the gate check bags, unless you're going to gate check it. We have one for our stroller that works really well. We tried to mess around with it last year with the car seat. Bad idea. Get this instead. This is a little strap. What this does is you put this through the belt strap of the car seat, strap it around your suitcase, it clips together, and then this little hook thing, you have the I can't remember what the heck so whatever hook thing you use to do straps on car seats. So there's a little hook back there, the tethering thing. This holds it onto a wheeling suitcase. This helped a lot. This did a lot. We actually had another suitcase strap for her car seat, but it didn't really work quite as well because her wheeling suitcase didn't have a side strap or a side handle, so it didn't stay on. We ended up tossing it in the car seat. So, and I strapped it on that way. So those are just little luggage straps that we use, and that worked really well. So we were able to get through the car seat airport. We have Phoenix International. That's where we're at. It's huge. Boise, which is where we're going, is a very small airport, but getting through Phoenix International Airport worked really well. The other thing is my sister picked us up and dropped us off, which we did not do last year, and our car died when we got into the, after having it sit there for a while. Partially, I think, because the battery was messed up and we need to replace 2 of them because minivans are electronic and they're weird. But that worked out a lot better. So my sister actually, in the morning, she came over, she took our car and then brought it back, and then she brought us home in our own car. So that worked well, just because my daughter's car seat's already in there, and she has her kids' car seats in hers, and her kids are in boosters. And my daughter is not, because she has a, by the time you guys see this, he'll be 7. My 7-year-old and a 10-year-old, so it doesn't work. That's the other thing, is if you can get a ride to the airport, please do. Don't necessarily park your car. Not always the most wonderful thing, particularly if you have some of the modern cars that have all the electronics. They have a tendency to die because for some reason their auxiliary battery continues to run. Yes, it's a flaw. Yes, they know about it. No, they don't care. We figured it out. It's a pretty common thing when we looked up after our car died last year. So again, the car seat and this thing worked really, really well. I still recommend the car seat. We're probably going to look for another one if we fly again, which we probably will. We will most likely be traveling back to Idaho next year, though this time in September for his cousin's wedding. We may be going to LA later in 2023, just because I have a nephew who's graduating from high school. But whether we drive or fly is still up in the air. So we will see what goes on with that. Now, the other thing that I bought that didn't turn out to be all that useful, though I don't regret buying it, is this is one of those little lap desks. So you could put it on the plane, you could put it on the car seat, long car drives, which we might use. She fell asleep really quick, both flights, so we didn't use it. On our car drive, the way up, again, she fell asleep. On the way down, I made a mistake not give her the Dramamine that I should have. Got distracted, she threw up. Note, last year I forgot this on the way up. So my daughter gets car sick. I don't forget the Dramamine. I just have twice forgotten to give it to her. So she got sick on the way down this time. My fault. I feel bad. We got her all cleaned up. She was fine. But again, that was not something she was interested in using. She fell asleep or she was snacking, and I bought her a Peppa Pig lunchbox, and I put a bunch of snacks in one of the, came with little Tupperware lunch thingies. That worked really well. So, and I don't have that on me because I think she still has snacks in it. Again, yawning. I have a small child. And it's 8 o'clock, and it's past 8 o'clock at night because I film when she sleeps. So, but the snacks worked really well, and the car seat, of course, is something I really recommend. If your child get car sick, do not forget the Dramamine. I didn't forget it on the airplane. So, and kind of what we did differently this time is last year we flew in and we spent the night, then we drove up. This year we flew in, we went to lunch. We did some shopping. We went into Trader Joe's because my daughter's obsessed with their lemonade. That's pretty much the only thing she drinks, though she'll eat pretty much anything. And then we ran by Target before we go up. This is something else I recommend, where we bought more diapers and baby wipes. Now, they were not the brand we normally use because for some reason they just don't carry them, but they worked. And that's something else I recommend. If you can, to avoid packing too much and you're going to a place where you have access to grocery stores, particularly if you're going within your own country or your own region, and you know you can access this stuff, buy it when you get there. It's just easier. So we did that with even some toiletries just so we didn't have to mess with them. Something else I recommend, it was just easier. We would probably do that again if we flew and we could. It just makes life easier and less things to pack. I also chose snacks that didn't melt, as opposed to last year. No M&Ms. Don't pack. Do not pack icky, sticky chocolate or things that are really messy. I did some crackers. I did some just hard cookies and Rice Krispie treats. So those worked. The Rice Krispie treats have a tendency to smush. I don't have anything here. If I had any, but no. So that worked out really well. We did stay with family, as opposed to last time, which was a mistake. We probably should have. We stayed upstairs in his grandmother's house, which was fine, as opposed to last year where we were staying in an Airbnb and it was just kind of away from the family and it was just kind of annoying. So we happened to get along with my husband's family, so that was fine. My daughter became an expert on stairs on this trip, but she's 3. So that was fine. His grandmother she's 99 years old. When you see this is being filmed in August of 2022. So she was 99 years old. She's 99 years old. So she has short-term memory issues. So they have to keep reminding her that we're staying there. But she's not violent. She's fine. So it was completely fine. We had fun. We went hiking. His family lives up in McCall. We did some walking. We did some shopping. We had fun. We spent a lot of time with family. And saw his grandmother, and my in-laws were very, very helpful. So we had a really good trip. And then this time, as opposed to, again, last time, we drove down and then we stayed in Boise, for like 2 days. So we flew out and drove up Monday. We drove down Thursday. We went out to lunch. I recommend if you're going to Boise, check out the Bass Market. One really good food, and then they have their little historical thing across the street. The Basque area is really very cool. We did the tour that we weren't able to do last year because it was closed, and it was very interesting and very fun. We toured their little house and their little museum. and that was very, very fun. I didn't take a bunch of pictures there. And then we spent Friday in Boise because I kind of wanted a bit of a vacation. So we went to their little aquarium and their Discovery Center. Both I highly recommend for kids of all ages. It was very, very fun. Their aquarium is very, very small. We got lost and argued trying to find it. Yeah, GPS and issues. That's the only time me and my husband really majorly argue is directions. Pretty sure that's normal, even though we have GPS these days. But still. But they have a very small, very hands-on aquarium there in downtown Boise. So it's very cute. It's very small. I am going to do a video on it because I took a bunch of pictures. So look forward to that. I will get that up when I have time. So that will come up. Most of the videos just side reference for the reviews of my book reviews and my film reviews for people who follow this channel are up for 2022. Everything is scheduled and done. Finish that off today. So you can look forward to those. I will get the Boise Discovery Center as well as their aquarium videos up once I upload the pictures. We've only been back for less than a week, so I'm getting there. I'm eyeing a lot today because I'm tired and I have a 3-year-old. So, but the aquarium was very cute. There's a lot of hands-on and water pools. So it's mostly one big room. So it's very, very small as composed to our aquarium, the Odyssey of the Sea. You can check out that video if you're interested. I did a whole review of that. It is very, very big as compared to this. But this was very, very fun. The Discovery Channel is also very fun. Again, it's also very small. They were doing an exhibition on T-Rex, so that was kind of interesting. They have 2 rooms of that stuff. And then they have another room where there's a lot of science stuff and magnet stuff, and there's a whole area for kids little ones to play. So that's where Seraphina spent a lot of time. She's obsessed with the kitchen. There was also a kitchen in the basque area, so she got distracted by that because she likes playing with play food. So that's her big thing right now. So they had a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. We went out to lunch and then we relaxed just because it's hot. Again, we're going in August. Yes, Idaho and Boise are still very, very hot. It was in the 90s. So yeah, it's still hot. And we walked around a lot of downtown Boise just because it's a pain in the butt to park. It's a bit of a nightmare. So again, and directions and downtowns have a lot of closed off streets and there's construction and all sorts of things. So it's a pain in the butt to find things. But again, we survived. And the Discovery Center and their little aquarium was fine. We left Friday morning. The Modern Hotel is where we stay. We stayed both times. It's fantastic. We did rent a car, obviously. Last year, we went to the penitentiary, the old penitentiary. That's something else I can recommend. I'm not going to do a video on it because I don't think I have the pictures, or that many pictures. I think my phone was dying because we flew in that day. We went to lunch with one of my husband's coworkers. But we saw a lot of stuff this time. We learned a lot. Again, pack as little as possible. We did pack far more stuffed animals. I did overpack on the coloring books. My daughter's just not really into them quite yet, so I overpacked on those. I bought a bunch of stuff at Barnes & Noble I probably shouldn't have, but she didn't even really pay attention to those. She was busy playing with her little Peppa Pig toys, her Daniel's Tiger toys, and her stuffed animals. We did end up bringing home more stuffed animals, and we bought more stuffed animals. And things got stuffed in suitcases. So, that was one of the other things. What I'll do next year, I don't know, because again, she's going to be 4. And we'll figure out what the heck she's into then. Or even when we go to the graduation, which again might be a driving trip, I'll definitely do a video on that if we end up driving, because that's a good long 7-8 hour drive in the middle of bloody nowhere, because Phoenix to Southern California. So we will definitely see. And again, we will be most likely going to a wedding in September of next year. So that video will come in 2023, and that will be kind of different because we're going to a wedding, and we'll see how we plan that and what's going on there. So, but again, this trip was very, very fun. It was a lot better than last time. My daughter is speaking a lot more. She has an expressive language delay, so last year she wasn't really talking. Now she talks like crazy. We don't understand her half the time, which is the problem with the language delay there. She has an expressive language delay. But again, we had a lot of fun. We saw a lot of family. There was less mosquitoes. We saw quite a few deer. That was the other thing. it was a fun trip. I think it was funner than last year, just because we did stay with his grandmother. It was good for my husband to see his grandmother. So again, her short-term memory, she kind of knows I exist. She doesn't fully understand, I think, that Serafina is hers, even though she has pictures of baby Serafina. We should probably send her older pictures of our small human, because she's, great, and I'm being bit by a cat here. But again, great trip. I do highly recommend car seat on the plane if you can, particularly if you're traveling not internationally. Internationally is a whole different ball game. I can't comment on that. I probably will not bring a car seat because we probably wouldn't be driving. Because my husband will refuse to drive in foreign countries except for maybe Canada. But yeah, this thing was recommended on a homeschooling thing. Highly recommended. The last thing, I don't not recommend it, just it didn't work for our daughter right now. Because again, it wasn't a long enough trip for her, and she slept. And no, I did not drug my child. The Dramamine was, in fact, I have some of it here. It's this stuff. It's not drowsy. Yeah, it's not drowsy. So it certainly didn't put me to sleep. And just if you are taking a car seat, be aware they do have to be in the window seat. So that's where they're set. It's a pain in the butt to get them on there. But again, I don't regret it because it's easier. And then we gate checked our stroller. I do have a great gate check bag for our umbrella stroller. So that's something else I highly recommend if you want to do that. So that is it for this review. We had a much better trip this time. I still learned a bit. But again, don't overpack, which is what I did last year. And I still overpacked just a little bit, not as much. Brought way too much food this time around, but though, of course, my daughter still snacked. So we will see. I may pack less food next time. We will see. Probably, again, it's going to be vary because my next time we most likely fly, Serafina will be closer to 4. So that is it for this review. If you like what you see, be sure to check out the rest of the channel. I have my pre-video, so you can kind of see how the planning went, and then my disastrous last year videos. You can watch those, both my massive insanity of all the planning and then all the stuff that I learned after we got back. You can see my snafu there of what it was like to travel with a little one. Not to mention I have a lot more research stuff in those videos if you want to check out those links. Also check out my book and film reviews. That's the meat and potatoes of this channel. I have, as I said, for those who you watch, everything's done for this year. So there's a lot of videos coming out, from Cinderella stuff to the dark stuff. My Joseph Delaney book. My Joseph Delaney Last Apprentice series is going on right now. That will last into December. Those are dark. Those are very, very dark. And then, of course, we have some Native American stuff and some Christmas stuff and a bunch of other stuff. And then next year is a work in progress. We're getting there. So thank you again. Leave a positive comment if you have one. And that is it.